The agony, the torture.
My leg.
Welcome. My leg. Welcome to Burfeed.
Welcome back to more
Now, I
Crash.
haven't. I don't know if I've acknowledged this yet, David. I think people might notice it's a thing. Um, and I think it's painfully obvious. But I don't know if you notice. I do a different little thing every time in our introduction.
Same. I try to.
But I always start with the word "oh," and then after that, the bets are off.
The gloves are
I
taken
know what you're
away.
probably thinking. Sean, do you prepare for these ahead of time?
Absolutely.
To that I would say. Heck no.
We're not that smart.
No. Those will always be good in my heart. All right. So anyway,
Where we left off, we were talking about Jordan Peele movies, and that kind of led into Sean giving us some quips about The Last of Us, and we cut him off to
so I
stop
was
the
gonna use
episode.
the last.
But here we go.
Yeah, So I was going to use The Last of Us as an example because I think expectations can drastically change your perception on something. And I think The Last of Us was a game that, I mean, Naughty Dog's a great studio, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everyone they had a certain expectation that at the very least the game was going to be good, but they didn't know if it was actually going to like resonate with people and if it was going to be something that was going to be as good as it was, right? And so, but then The Last of Us Part 2 comes out after The Last of Us is one of the best games ever made, and people expected it to be one of the greatest games of all time. And in my opinion, I thought they succeeded. But they also had to tell a story. And when you're expanding on a story, or if you're telling a story after the first story you tell is really good, you essentially are going to disappoint somebody,
Mm-hmm.
I feel, because if you're not doing the exact same thing, people almost get disappointed, you know?
Right.
So it's almost kind of like almost the existence of that second thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost doomed from the start in some ways.
And
Did you like my jumping there?
yeah, that was great. Lauren laughed at you too. I can agree with you on that because we're gonna keep this spoiler free as well. But with The Last of Us 2, like they took extra liberties that I don't think people were gonna see or like were planning on seeing in terms of the story, that they weren't ready for. And so that's why a lot of people are like, oh, well, this game's not good because I didn't like the story. Well, it's because there's certain things about the story that you didn't like because they were progressing it to a level they wanted to do it.
Right.
Are there certain things of the story that I would change? Sure. But I'm not a storyteller at this point. And so, like, that's the story they wanted to tell. And I thought it was a great game, and I don't think there's much wrong with it. It's just what I expected the story to be isn't what ended up turning out. And in many cases, that should be for the better. I don't think they ruined it by any means.
Yep.
So Naughty Dog, there's your free publicity, man.
Other than the fact that we're playing your original classic game as well.
Except for it's been remastered by a different studio.
Oh, dude, we should play through the Uncharted games.
I have all 4.
I do too, I think.
We're nerds.
Get that fool out of here.
Get lost.
the Uncharted and Last of Us games are my favorite games of all time. Or my favorite series of games of all time. My favorite individual game of all time is God of War 2018.
Did you play the OG God of Wars?
I played some of them. I played like the remakes a decent amount, but then I just kind of found that like those games were just a little outdated for me at the time, because I don't think the remakes were all that good. But I do think there's definitely something about them. I think we talked about this before. I'm not sure if we talked about it on an episode or if we just talked about it from just like hanging out. Because I know you said that you prefer the gameplay of the original ones. But
And I
to
think
me,
that comes
like,
from
and
you probably didn't play God of War until you were an adult or in high school maybe.
right.
And for me, not calling out my mom at all, but I wasn't sheltered into not playing certain games, and so I played God of War 2 shortly after it came out. And so as a kid, like, I'm a boy, I liked all of the violence and I thought it was awesome, and the gameplay I enjoyed, and so that's probably why I like those games more, is because it's what I grew up playing.
Right.
So the newest one's great, and I think I should try, because I played about half of it before. I think I ended up playing something else that I want to say that maybe Borderlands 3 came out and I dedicated my life to that instead.
Yeah.
And so
I do remember, because I think you got it around the time we started living together, and I think that was when Borderlands 3 dropped.
yeah,
And if you don't know anything about David,
he's a
Borderlands is his
boy.
thing.
BioShock, Borderlands, and Dark Souls. If you haven't noticed by checking out my other channel yet, those are the only things up at this point. Went ahead and did my favorites first.
Which is smart.
I am so smart. I am so smart.
I'm so smart.
SMRT.
SMRT. I mean,
SMART.
SMART.
I believe in you.
And that's the one spot I can't beat, apparently.
You just gotta jump right away. Like, jump on the far one, and then right away you jump. Yeah. You got it. You want it. Don't die. You died.
Don't die. You died.
Oh. Good save.
Ow.
Good save. Still got lives to spare, though.
Not as many.
You got tree.
2.
Dos. 1. And they give you the Aku Aku mask, because that's gonna help. It helped there. Oh, that was the end, too.
You're kidding.
Nope. I could see the crate. Do you want David's help yet to finish it out?
No! I'm so close. I gotta save your help for the harder levels.
That's true. This is gonna be a long series then.
You didn't know that going in?
I thought you would be better.
Really?
Yes, I have more confidence in you than you have in yourself, apparently.
Listen, this is supposed to be a Let's Play series, not a psychological deep dive into my insecurities.
I'm sorry. I'm killing Sean.
Not with kindness.
I'm sorry, baby. I love you.
Alrighty. I'm really not that bad.
Eh. Maybe it's a good idea that I
Really?
don't play then.
Would you show me how wrong I am?
Yeah. I did play Crash as a kid. Not this one. I didn't play this one until this remaster came out. And I didn't even play that until probably a year and a half after it did. I didn't play this until probably Christmas before we lived together. So at this point in time, just under 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So, my last year in college.
College.
Collage.
I'm gonna smack those bats IRL.
In the face. Smack this bat's face. In the face.
September 28th.
Hey, I stole that from a different website, so.
They're probably like, you can have it. Oh man.
I believe in you.
At least you don't have to have the embarrassment of knowing that there's gonna be people online that are watching how bad I am at this. Whew.
Whew.
So what I want people to know is that when the mics are off or when the cameras are off or when we're not recording, the way we talk does not change.
Nope.
Not even slightly.
We're not like Fleetwood Mac. We don't hate each other.
Astute reference, David.
Hey, that's famous. Probably not age appropriate for the people that are probably watching this, but
That should be our tagline. We're not Fleetwood Mac.
hey, it's a good band, okay?
I just never thought we would be mentioned in the same sentence as Fleetwood Mac.
All right, let's go our
Here
let's
we
let's
are.
go our own way. Never break the chain.
Yet here we are, week 2.
Those are both Fleetwood Mac songs. That was the joke I was making.
I know.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure.
To that I say September 28th.
2020. All right, we're up on top now.
And Sean has to stop because his eye was irritating him.
His
So I'm just gonna look in the distance.
was irritating him.
Do 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 do.
Do 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 do.
Crazy.
That's how
And
it
that's how
goes.
it goes. Millions of people.
Wiping boogers from their nose. Comedy.
I liked my
has died
toilet paper parody.
today. The 28th of September, 2020.
Comedy not healing.
Kick it while it's down.
Your jokes, please refrain. We're going off the rails on Bazinga train. Alright, guys.
I believe.
I can feel it
I could feel it in my loins.
coming in the air tonight.
Oh Lord. I've
Oh,
been waiting
Lord.
for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord.
Oh Lord.
Oh Lord.
I can't believe I saw him live.
Yeah, I can't believe you saw him live too. Do you know the name of the band Phil Collins was in before he was just Phil Collins?
Oh, come on now. Everybody knows it's the Beatles. No, I'm kidding. Of course, it's Genesis.
Thank you. Thank you for saving yourself from that statement. That's like in Parks and Rec. I don't know if you watched Parks and Rec as much as like Lauren and I do.
Oh, I love Parks and Rec.
But when Andy Dwyer quits his band and then he comes back and he's like, but now we're coming back with 2 lead singers. Name another band that does that. And Ben Wyatt goes, The Beatles. Oh, it makes me laugh every time that scene happens. It's so good. See, that's the end right there.
Or but more importantly, Kiss.
Kiss. We saw Kiss together.
That's true.
We kissed.
We saw
I
them
mean,
together on their 20th farewell tour. It was awesome.
Come on, Sean. Be nice. They've been on more farewell tours than that.
It's one of those things where like it was fun, but like I watched like interviews and stuff before the concert where they were like, yeah, we could go out there, we could still do these shows in our prime after all these years, but like in reality, just watching them go, like through that show, you're just like, you couldn't make it another 5 years. Like Gene Simmons needed constant breaks just to sit down, and we were on the side of the stage where he was sitting, and so you just see a Gene Simmons just huffing and puffing from the press box, and it's just like, oh honey.
You're referring.
But dude, we made it through that level.
Well, you can give this one a try before we wrap it up for the episode.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a teaser of what's to come.
It's getting better from here. Better as in more difficult. Sneaky snake.
I'm a snaky snake. This episode's called this level's called Temple Run.
Temple Run or Temple Ruin or something like that.
Oh.
You can see the name of the level if you press start.
Temple Ruins. Okay. Well, there goes my joke. And then there goes my life.
September 28th, 2020. Oh no. At least that was the first checkpoint of the level too.
Yeah, that's true. You know, it's one of those things where like I'm just getting to know the level, I'm getting to know the lay of the land.
Well, we got time for another run.
Look at that. Another temple run. September 28th.
I believe in our comedy. It will stand the test of today.
The test of this particular hour. I feel like our new National Friendship Day is going to be September 28th.
That's the day that we brought this binding moment together. The day comedy died.
True. We killed comedy, but we pushed the dagger in its heart together. Cool.
Cool. Stops, takes an environment, walks. Oh, the spider.
Literally all I did was touch the spider.
That's all it takes.
And the spider touched me.
You jumped at the complete wrong time. That was great. Just how much confidence you had, too.
Ow.
Ouch, Charlie.
Ouch. Charlie, that really hurt.
Do.
Oh man.
66.
Alright, now I have to ask a crucial question.
Yes.
I think I know your answer, but it's one of those things where, like, I think it's an important question. Marvel or DC?
I think, and this isn't in terms of the MCU technically, because I look at it as not with the movies. I look at it in terms of its atmosphere. Definitely
Right.
Marvel. I appreciate DC's, and here's why I say it. I think the world being more grounded in reality helps it out a lot. Like, DC gets points for being creative. On that, it comes up with, like, these fictional cities for everything to take place, even though they're based on real cities. They're making them up. They're a world that they're creating that's beyond ours. Marvel takes all of these, like, supernatural superheroes and puts them in cities that people actually live in, and that's why I think they get the upper hand there. Like, obviously the Marvel movies are far more successful and for the most part do better than a lot of the DC movies do, but that's not the only, like, feature that should be brought forward.
Right.
I think it's unfair to
So
place it that way, and that's coming from somebody like Batman's my favorite superhero, and I will stick with that until the day I die. But in terms of the whole property together, I think Marvel has the upper hand.
Right. So, I'm actually of the opinion. So, first of all, just to share my kind of background with them, Spider-Man was my original favorite hero from, like, when I was a little kid. I'll never forget when I saw the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. I thought they were the coolest thing.
Spider-Man 3's the best. Fight me.
I will. I guess I'll finish this point, and then I guess we're done with the episode for today. But Spider-Man's my favorite hero of all time, or my original, and then Batman came to my life.
Batman's amazing.
And in my opinion, I think as overall, I think DC has the better properties or the more iconic heroes. I think Marvel's done more with them from a cinematic standpoint. I think the Marvel universe and the movies are great, and they've taken heroes that weren't necessarily household names, like Iron Man, like Guardians of the Galaxy, like Black Panther.
You cut out for me.
Are you
I can hear you now. Never mind. You went away again.
Are you there?
There you are. I can hear you.
Hello?
I can hear you. Hello?
Oh?
I can hear you.
Okay, sorry about
No,
that.
you're good. Continue your point. I'll edit that out.
Sounds good. I think that Marvel has taken these household names, like I said, like Star-Lord and Guardians of the Galaxy, Iron Man, Black Panther, and they've just taken them and brought them to a new level and made them household names. And then when they finally brought in Spider-Man, they took a character that felt exhausted and brought fresh air and fresh life. I think the DC movies and the DC cinematic universe as a whole has there's been some bright spots, but overall it hasn't stacked up to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I hope DC can turn it around, but I'm not hopeful. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I am excited to see Robert Pattinson's take on Batman whenever that'll come out.
Oh, it looks so good.
Exactly. I'm excited. But we'll
And I'm sure we'll gush about it more on the next episode of not episode,
on the next episode of Murphy.
Next episode of Murphy.
Bye.
Catch you then.